it will be a comprehensive study.
Now, for this, I think, see, the role of not only government or OCF has to is there. The role of education institution is also very, very important.
Yeah, that is what. No, we have got many educational institutions with us. We have tied up with them, so that we can do.
So
We
that
can take them in our fold.
one thing we can do, like I am doing, we can also arrange some discussion with the institute's head, okay, and try to try to make it understand that as per new education policy and the NRF ranking framework, all education institutions have to participate in ranking framework and they have to abide by NEP. So how to do this? For this, pre-incubation cell or incubation cell is very, very important in every education institute now. It is
All right.
mandate. It is mandate now.
Vocational, right? It has to be.
Yes, means they have to open
In
their
the
own.
in the new curriculum.
Yes, new curriculum. So if
Okay.
you need, if you need support from my side, then I can deliver one session for institution, higher education institutions, universities, and colleges,
That
and
is
make
what.
and make them understand that this is necessity. This is not mandate. This is not
Mhm.
optional.
This
It
is
is
not optional,
mandate.
right?
It is
Right. Right.
mandate. So to
This is a
survive,
strong.
and they have to
This is a
strive.
strong source of one's it's a personal economy as well as country's economy.
Yes, because
Mm.
then only government, because see, government is trying, but if they are not coming up, why government will be persuading them every day? They are also
Correct.
also thinking that they are not interested. So we have the scheme, we have money, but no one is there to ask for the scheme or money. So they are also not in a position to go and touch each and every institution, each and every industries. Now you are
Correct.
saying MSMEs are dying. So MSMEs cannot die. They can revive if they are directly connected with the institutions, education institutions, where they will get the students for internship free of cost. They will get all the
Right. Right.
resources of the institutions free of
So
cost,
this will be a
labs free of cost,
cost
cost
reduction
reduction, and
mechanism.
effective
Yeah.
solution also. So we can do
Exactly.
sessions like that. And once I send you the report, the draft report, then we
Mhm.
can think on, we can discuss with our members, and then we can formalize one DPR, detailed project report to the government.
Right. Right.
That way we can do.
So once I think you prepare a pilot project, then we will try to connect with the
Ah,
government. I
yes, we
think
can connect. Local
uh,
government also, local authorities also, we can connect.
that's right. So should we start right now?
Yes, sir.
It's already. Friends, I think we are 12. We've already waited for 17, 18 minutes. We'll start it. Friends, Mr. Fukan, Mr. Pranjal Kumar Fukan is not unknown to our OCF. He has addressed so many times, already addressed so many times on MSME and its development. And with this prelude of this discussion, you also might have heard his depth in the knowledge. And he has worked in several corporate houses, and we expect a lot from him, from OCF, not only in terms of imparting his knowledge sharing and all those things, and also some tangible help we are expecting from him in future for doing something in state government in the state of Orissa. And he has a very rich experience in various corporates. And today he's going to speak about the Atmanirbhar. Atmanirbhar, as you all know, it's a self-reliant India. Our beloved Prime Minister made this nara that India should be self-reliant on various counts. There are 5 factors. Theoretically, there are 5 factors, but the detailed we'll listen from Mr. Fukan. 20 lakh crore is already planned out for this. So let us listen the vision of our Prime Minister from Mr. Pranjal Kumar Fukan. Over to you, Fukan sir.
Good afternoon to everyone. I don't know the weather at Orissa, but here weather is cloudy. Very
Here
cold.
it is sunny.
Very cold and cloudy because today we have that Bihu, Bhogali Bihu, means Makar Sankranti tomorrow. So first of all, I like to wish everyone a happy Makar Sankranti,
Happy
and
Sankranti. Yes.
yeah, and then let me start today. My session is basically on Atmanirbhar Bharat. One session already I had with OCF earlier. Just today I will discuss on the enablers. Enablers means, see, there are lots of enablers. There are five tranches, like already Mihir Saab has told that government has outlay some 40 lakh crores. But the basic thing which I like to discuss today, that how to take benefit of this, because Atmanirbhar Bharat contains all the schemes till date, which are being declared by the government, which are for the MSMEs and startups, and also for those vendors who are registered themselves as local vendors, class one vendors. They may not be MSMEs, but they are class one vendors. Means they have the capacity and capability to produce goods or any products with minimum 50% content which are localized. Okay, so that is called class one. So Atmanirbhar Bharat is has having like government e-marketplace, is having TREDS, is having Make in India policy 2017, and many other policies and schemes like MSME Act 2006 is modified again in 2018 called MSME Public Procurement Policy. And again, they have changed the definition of MSMEs very recently, last 1.5 years back. And now they have circulated two new things which I have attended in Delhi. That now MSME are eligible for the price preference in L1 plus 20%. Instead of 15 earlier, it will be 20%. And the reserved list of MSME earlier was 358 items. Now has gone to 469 items. Okay. So other thing like 25% of the total order value have to be is reserved for MSB. That's remains same with 4% STSC and 3% women. Now let me share the screen. Then it will be better for you to understand. Uh, I hope this screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So this is Atmanirbhar Bharat. Now we will discuss like few things before going to details of Atmanirbhar. It is a thumb rule across the globe. If any country is not contributing minimum 5% of its GDP, then that country is not going to be a global power. So this is the thumb rule. So that the reason we have the plan and vision of our honorable Prime Minister that India have to be $5 trillion economy by promoting Make in India for making for the world. And Amartya Sen, economist, renowned economist, has once said that India cannot become a global economic power if we have uneducated, unhealthy workforce. So that's the reason government is focusing more on strengthening MSME. Now, how to strengthen the MSME? It is not just the role of the policymakers, but it is the role of all the industry bodies, industry associations, and I say to Mihir sir that education institution is also now part of it as per the new education policy, because education is economies of knowledge and industries are economies of business. If both the economies are not connected to each other, then we cannot say that we have a strong economic strength of in the country. Now, Atmanirbhar Bharat, as already said by Mihir sir, that it contains five components. First is economy, second is infrastructure, third is systems, and fourth is vibrant demography, and fifth is demand. Means we have to create demands, then only the supply chain will continue. So government took several bold reforms. You know that it's like supply chain reforms, which is for agriculture, having the rational tax systems, simple and clear laws, capable human resources, strong financial systems. So lots of things are happening under Atmanirbhar Bharat. Latest is like we are having the electronic, or you can say digital lockers or digital money. So currently, India as a position as per the 2020 survey. We are 63rd out of 190 countries in the World Bank's ease of doing business. it means we have lots of options available to make ourselves at in the top 10 of the 190 countries in the ease of doing business. So if you see the situation of the country now, that these all the rates are basically having the highest number of MSEs, and also due to which lots of debt on the banks are increasing, because you know that once MSMEs are there, we have to provide them the fundings, and fundings are normally provided by the mostly by the government banks and primarily the CDB. So the load of the debt of on the banks are increasing. You can see the top five states by the number of MSMEs are Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, and Karnataka. So as you know, Orissa is neighboring to West Bengal. So I think Orissa has a very good proposition, because I know Orissa is it's have rich resources. Only thing is, like, now we as a member of OCF need to teach or educate the people, people, because they have the capabilities to start with MSMEs or become the startups, so that they can take the advantage of all the facilities which government is trying to provide to entrepreneurs like India. So geographical demographics of MSME, if you see in India, Uttar Pradesh has the highest number of MSME and employs about 15% of the people working in this sector. So there are three types of situations. Like if you say, if I say for the LIS, that is the states which having the low income states are basically Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, and then northeastern states, seven states, and rest are the rest of India. The Maharashtra and Delhi are account for the highest debt demands, which is the putting pressure on the government for funding purpose. And if you see other five states, I have already told you, they account for 50% of the total MSMEs. The Orissa is very poor in performance in related to MSME. Orissa has a number of MSMEs, but Orissa's where is my screen? I have lost the screen. 1 minute. So Orissa has MSMEs, but Orissa is performing low in terms of MSMEs and contributing to the economy of the country. So there are lots of opportunities for us to make this purpose useful and to utilize these schemes for benefiting MSMEs, because MSMEs, if they are dying, if they are in the position of debt trap, so we have to support them. So how to get out of these situations, and provide them proper funds, provide them proper opportunities, so that they can again thrive back. So we know that MSMEs are the backbone of the economy, and around 633.9 lakhs MSME in the country are powerful drivers. The country's GDP's MSME contribution is 30%. Country's overall exports MSME has 48% contributions. Country's industrial, you can say 95% of the country's industrial units are contributed by MSMEs, and 40% of country's total workforce are from MSME. So it's a huge statistics which is taken by the wise design, and this shows that we have the potential. So why can't we do this for the state of Orissa? So now first let me talk about the debt, the pressure of the government for the huge credit gaps. You know the total debt demand at moment is 69.3 trillion rupees, and most of these are basically required for manufacturing. Manufacturing debt demand is 32.8 trillion rupees. For this micro, small, and medium, if you can see, the highest is for micro. Addressable demands are like this, but we have to find out the solutions as part of the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, that how we can provide the support to this product and services for the MSME. Because service part you see that there's a need of 36.5 trillion rupees. And similarly for the manufacturing, we need 32.8 trillion rupees. And out of which you can see micro are requiring the most. So how to create situations or solutions for the available debt demand of 69.3 trillion rupees for MSMEs to survive. Government is doing now. It's a duty of us as industry association to make available the solutions to the government so that the people or MSMEs who are really in need of the money or funds should be supported and should be provided. And I know OCF is doing a lot in this regard for providing the funding sources and funding services for the MSMEs and including micro, small, and medium. Now, MSMEs, as I discussed everything, so about this, all this is clear now. The Blink Invest report is reflecting the MSME sector has a credit demand of 69.3 trillion rupees I have shown, which is growing at a CAGR of 11.5%, with less than 50% of the demand, which is being catered by formal sources. Now, out of these 9 business models, such as payment gateways, QR code, POS financing, neo banks, P2M lending, anchor-based supply chain finance, they are paving the way for development of MSME sectors. So total funding garnered into the sector is now 5.5 billion US dollar for the period from 16 to 21. And majority of these are already being funded by neobanks, NBFCs, payment gateways, QR code business models in the country. So this is one solution we have seen. Similarly, the Atmanirbhar Bharat is calling for reducing imports. We know that all the government sectors, public sectors are being made clear that they cannot import up to 200 crores, so that up to 200 crores MSMEs have the potential opportunities to create the base for production and services to cater the need of the government and non-government industry sectors. Secondly, it is interesting to note that opening of defense procurement is already being made. We have seen regarding this Atmanirbhar Bharat or Make in India, that is public procurement policy, that more MSMEs can enter into the area of defense, area of railways. Now railway has also opened their sector for MSMEs so that they can also participate. I had discussed a lot on 10th at Kolkata during my one-day session on JAM, that all the MSMEs, because most of the MSMEs in Kolkata are working for either for the railways or for the CPRs. So their situation is different from those MSMEs who are working for the public sectors or for the general businesses in the country. So for this also, government has made very specific facilities on JAM. So I told these things to CF members earlier also, that our MSMEs should now focus themselves to get themselves means capable to participate in the government bids through JAM, which is around 4 lakh crores per annum of procurement is happening. Government procurement is happening through JAM. Now MSMEs have to adopt technology. There's no other way. So for this, we need to educate all MSMEs about the present technology advancements so that they can have online market, which is very easy to leverage across the globe, and they should take advantage of this. So once I submit my draft report to OCF, in which I was being asked to give the detailed draft of how to support the MSMEs specifically and particularly to Orissa, as per the districts, based on the availability of resources, availability of the facilities. I'm making a report. So once I submit, I also requested President Mr. Berasab that once this is being submitted from my side, we can have a discussion with all our distinguished members of OCF, and we can make a few separate DPRs, draft detailed project reports, to get submit to the government, and start with some pilot project which Mahesh already said today. So center, this is note to everyone that in 22-23 budget, next budget is coming up on 31st March. So under which ECLGS for 130 lakhs MSMEs are extended till March 23 next year. So obviously in the next 5 years also, 6,000 crore rating schemes will be available for MSMEs. So in a positive development, we know the Indian e-commerce sellers are supplying goods and services, which has a turnover of 40 lakhs and rupees 20 lakhs respectively. but unfortunately they are not registered in CGST Act. So we'll be able to make interested supply from 1st October. So those who have not yet registered, still they are now allowed to supply these goods and services. If they are not registered in CGST Act, also they can make the intrastate supply from 1st October 2023, which is coming this year very soon. So this includes sellers who are registered in the GST composition schemes. So MSMEs that are able to effectively leverage this online platform. That's the reason I'm saying all MSMEs need to be educated on the benefit of online platforms. And one of the biggest platform in Asia, that is government e-marketplace, which is owned by the government of India, has to be made familiarized to all the MSMEs, so that they can take all the advantages which is there coming up. One advantage I have shown, that if any MSME is under composition scheme of not registered with CGST Act, then also they are allowed to supply goods intrastate within the states, okay, from 1st of October. So according to a report by credit agency Crisil, bank credit to MSME will witness a reasonable growth of 16 to 18% this year and coming year. So MSME growth in financial year 23 and 24 is likely to be higher than expected, to 10 to 12% growth in terms of credit to the corporate segments. As per Beach Fund report in 22, only 16% of MSMEs in India are getting formal credit. Rest are still credit starved. So it's one of the biggest point which we need to understand and try to make it comfortable for MSMEs to get credits, formal credits, and how to do this. So we need to put our proposal to the government, to the local authorities in Orissa. So few of the challenges, this is known to all, but still I'm discussing in detail that few challenges, major challenges, which our country is facing, in spite of having so many schemes and policies. Is first is financial issue, because we know, if I discuss about Orissa itself, not to discuss with other states, many of the MSMEs, means micro and small, they don't have any assets to surrender or put in mortgage or collaterals. And normally the lenders, the government lenders have many other protocols, so they don't entertain. But still, the private lenders also are not in a position to support them, because they are not in a position to analyze and know whether they can repay their loans or not. Second is the most important thing is skills, as we are advancing in technology. So MSMEs cannot be left behind. If we have the people who are educated and they are basically starting an enterprise, though maybe they may be skilled, but they don't have the workforce skilled. So who will be from where they will get the help to educate or train their workforce? There are a lot of schemes under various ministries where they provide, like agriculture ministry has facilities. If you are interested, then I can get in connect with them. They're providing free of cost training to the workforce of MSMEs related to agriculture and packaging and export. So such skills needs to be developed. So skills is lacking. Third is marketing and manager related challenges, because lots of MSMEs don't have education, because we cannot say every time that MSMEs owner or founder or co-founder are educated. They may be people who are actually having the traditional business. We now need to cover them under the purview of MSME. So they are obviously not having education, proper education or formal educations. So that is lacking. They don't know about the market trends. They don't understand market trends. To facilitate these government e-marketplaces there, but that is also needs to be educated. They don't have the experience of consumer preferences. What does the consumer preference means? They don't have any idea about the advanced technology. That's the reason they're lacking behind in terms of online marketing. So these are some of the things that are hindering this sector a lot, and most of the MSMEs who cannot face these, or who cannot face this fierce competition, are closed. And technology is obviously a primary deterrent to all the MSMEs. If I say for the micro and small enterprises related to state of Orissa, that in spite of having lots of resources, natural resources, still we are lagging behind because we are not in a position to educate them and make use of all this technology where the growth of the business or running of the business is made simpler. It's much simpler than the traditional method of doing the business. Then we have a lot of labor-related challenges, like many inconsistencies happening in MSMEs regarding skilled personnels, and they are also failing to comply with the labor laws, due to which now the government is very stringent in terms of company affairs. So they are mostly into liabilities and penalties and paying huge penalties for this purpose of non-compliances. And that's the reason also they are failing to grow. Now, ease of doing business, there are many regulatory issues nowadays. Like while time to establish a new enterprise already dropped from 127 days to 30 days nowadays, but business owners have to wait and go through various steps of procedures before they can open their doors. So this also we need to make some report and make it understand to the government that though you have, though the government is saying about ease of doing business, but actually on ground it is not happening because lots of things are not streamlined. Lack of funds, lack of financial know-hows. They don't know the basics of accounting methods. So, which when I actually I'm also a mentor to Bangladesh University of Dhaka for their entrepreneurs, and I used to take classes for their masters, bachelors, and postgraduate students. So where I used to teach entrepreneurship and where I used to explain them that how to have this financial know-how, which is very important for any MSMEs or any enterprises. It's very important that we need to educate them the basics of the accounting methods through which they can understand that whether their business is growing or their business is declining. They should be in a position to understand the advancements happening on everyday basis. Labor issue I discussed, trust concerns. Trust concerns means the lack of trust between the lenders, lack of trust between the consumers, between the producers. Then collateral for loans, obviously they don't have any assets, so where they will put their collaterals, and absence of policies is the biggest challenge for MSMEs. So these are some of the pointers where we need to prepare our detailed project report draft for a submission to the government so we can have a pilot project run and show them that these things are not so difficult or complex to solve. Yeah, Oppo A5 2020 is asking one question. He's raised an hand. So, sir, please ask. What's your question? I'm saying here Oppo A5 2020. Do you have any questions to ask, sir? So what are the benefits of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan? So whenever we say for ourselves, for the MSMEs, for the other industries of Orissa, the benefit is that the already Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan has sanction of 3 lakh crores as an unsecured loan to MSMEs with an annual turnover of 100 crores. There already investment of 90,000 crores bailout to discoms and independent power producers has been made for the people who are producing powers. Fiscal assistance for improving cold chains, warehousing, post-harvest management, dairy infrastructure is there. But whether we have to see whether these assistance are going down or is availed by the MSMEs in the state of Orissa, whether it is happening or not. If not, why it's not happening, and what are the bottlenecks, what are the hurdles, so that we can educate, we can inform the governing bodies, the government. NABARD is said to allow a financing facility for funding agriculture infrastructure projects. It's there, but whether it is available for the MSMEs in the state of Orissa. So we have to ask this question ourselves. These are the sanction amount. These are the projects. These are the Abhiyan, under the Abhiyan, the benefits. But these are good to see on papers. But whether our people in the state of Orissa are getting it or not. If not, then we have to find out. Either we have to find out what are the bottlenecks, and also we have to find out the solutions to it. Then only we can support them better with the support of the government. Like Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana is there already there for marine and inland fisheries. And I know Orissa has very good source of marine and inland fisheries. Investment of 30,000 crores is already there for debt papers by BFCs, HFCs, and MFIs. They have already extended extension in payment for income tax and GST for businesses who are not in a position to pay. There's investment for improving five pillars. Those are economy, infrastructure, system, demography, and demand. So our question is, what are the benefits we know, but whether these benefits are available for the MSMEs in the state of Orissa, and if not, why? The features, you know that it is for the businesses and MSMEs. This Abhiyan is specifically for poor and backward classes. This is for the agricultural features, which government has developed already. 1,000 crore scheme to familiarize micro food enterprise, Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada to support fishermen with 20,000 crores. So lots of monies are there with the government of Orissa also. So whether these are being channelized properly to the needy MSMEs or not, if not, then what are the bottlenecks? Why it's not happening? We need to strengthen that backbone. We need to make them understand the government and also for the MSMEs. You see, you have so many facilities made available by the government, but why you are not in need of this? It is for new growth horizons. It is for the government reforms. Like government is aiming to introduce a large number of reforms under Atmanirbhar scheme, also government laws, which have resulted in 44% recovery in 221 resolved business cases. You should be knowing that Swayam Prabha DTH channel is good for the education in the schools and colleges, which is totally free of cost. They don't need to have an internet also. This is coming under the scheme of Prime Minister E-Vidya scheme. So this also can be used for educating our micro and small enterprises using this APM E-Vidya or Swayam Prabha DTH channels, which is not only can for the schools but also for the rural communities. We have to support our community in educating them for all the needs which are required for doing a business. So five pillars of self-reliant India, I already said. And now key takeaways from this session today that government has announced this Abhiyan so that we can revive every sphere of the country, every sphere of the region, every sphere of the state economy from demand, supply to manufacturing. Then this package is divided into four tranches, I've already told, and each tranches has their own focus. The package score focus is on MSME only and agriculture and its allied activities. However, we know that package fails to bring optimism and confidence among the corporate as it is focused on more on indirect benefits with a major focus on loan disbursements. It will be more benefited for the corporate if the government have provided direct benefit like cash support and a reduction in GST payment. This is a big story. It's still happening. Let's see in coming budget if anything is going to happen on this. This also would help in reducing the price of the product. As you know, the GST payment, due to GST payment, the cost of production is also going high. So first tranche was for 5 crore, 5 crore 94,550 lakhs rupees. So sorry, 5 lakhs 94,550 crore was first tranche. It was for MSMEs, loan guarantee for MSMEs, NBFCs, discom contractors, real estate and salaried workers. Second tranche was for 3 lakh 10,000 crores. This was focused on migrant workers, small farmers, street vendors, poor. Third tranche was 1 lakh 50,000 crores. It focused on agriculture and allied services, allied activities like dairy, animal husbandry, fishery. Fourth tranche is 48,100 crore. It focused on 8 critical sectors like coal, mineral, defense production, airspace, social infrastructure, power distribution companies. So which are more benefited or will be getting benefited from Atmanirbhar Bharat is first is FMCG, second is healthcare, third will be technology, fourth is financial, fifth is communication, sixth is services, seven is chemical, eight is energy, nine is consumer durables, 10 is construction, 11 is automobile, 12 is metals, and 13 is others. So you can diversify these things accordingly, classify these accordingly for the state of Orissa, that which sector is more prominent in state of Orissa. Based on that, the allocation percentage we have seen. So based on that, the allocation cost also is there. So this can help us in understanding and help the people of Orissa, MSMEs of Orissa to take benefit of this Abhiyan. So this mission basically is help to reduce the dependence on this all. So these are the points I've discussed, like some of the best thing we can do through Atmanirbhar Bharat. But domestic supply, if you see, if in April 14, if you see in 2021, India's cumulative vaccination coverage crossed 110 million. As on April 15, 2021, country's export is equivalent to 65.5 million indigenous COVID vaccines to 90 plus countries. So these are some of the benefits we got from the Atmanirbhar Bharat during that period. Shortcomings, already I said that government, instead of providing the loans, they should have provided in reducing the GST part to them. And secondly, they should have designed the packages so that MSMEs should not rely more on loans. Banking sector like PSUs are already reeling under bad loans, so they are also not in a position to support the MSMEs. Higher default rates are going, so these are also going to increase the cost burdens to the government. And total government expenditure is incurring around 1% of GDPs. As such, these measures will not be educated. So these are some of the shortcomings. So every scheme has pros and cons. So we should not focus on the shortcomings and say that from where we can support MSME. We should see the pros of the Atmanirbhar Bharat and try to find out and so the ways to channelize these benefits to the MSMEs. And shortcomings are obviously they are known to the government. So we should try to find a way out of these shortcomings so that our MSMEs should not get affected. So these are some of the basic things I had discussed with you. So as I said, I'm preparing the complete detailed report on this for the state of Orissa based on the commodities, based on the facilities we have, based on the resources we have, based on the education and based on the experience criteria we have for the state of Orissa district-wise, and then I will submit it to you, and then we can have not one number of discussions to find out like how to start with the pilot project with the support of the government, or we can educate or inform government. So now I'll be happy if you can discuss now, like members can ask me or can share
Well,
their opinions. Yeah, yes, sir.
thank you, Mr. Fukan, for a very good, elaborate presentation of the various facilities available in Atmanirbhar Bharat. I have got a few questions, rather, these are all suggestions. Since you are working on this, I need your reaction on this. One thing, these Bitcoin as a payment mechanism for exporters, MSME exporters, will it be worthwhile as compared to the banking systems, which are little cumbersome? That is one. If they have taken, if some exporters have taken bank loan, so they are bound to be, dealing through the banks. Otherwise, document through banks they have to file. Otherwise, will it be worthwhile to deal with that? This is one. And second thing is, the failure of over this 3.5 decade of this profession. What I felt, the MSMEs, once they are withdrawn from the government patronage or subsidy era, or any kind of benefit, fiscal benefit, then they run into sickness. So they thrive. They don't have a cutting edge to compete the bigger industries. So what my suggestion is, government should make it compulsory on large scale industries to develop. It should be a mandate on them to develop few MSME units every year, so that as a vendor development mechanism, it's not a burden on them. Once they develop a vendor, food supply to them, that will be in their immediate vicinity. So that will be a win-win situation. The government, by the compulsion of the government regulations, the MSME will be benefited as well as the large industry will be benefited. So why not government is thinking in these lines?
Yeah, this is a very pertinent question. First of all, let me tell you one thing. Government e-marketplace is made for the buyers as a government buyers only. Okay, they are saying that sellers can be private, but buyers can only be government, because you know that government procurement is more than 4 lakh crores per year. Okay, number one. It is very true that as government is focusing, they are mandated, they are being made mandate that we have to procure from the MSMEs like 25% minimum. Okay, but this mandate is not with the private. See, the things are like, I must say that all private are not supporting MSME. It's also not true, because if you take if you take the instances of the large private organizations like Reliance, Tatas, okay, Marutis, or you can say Birlas, you'll be surprised to know that around 40 to 50% of their materials are from MSMEs. Only thing is that they have not declared in their anywhere in their AGM that we are supporting small and micro, but actually they are doing their business by outsourcing many of the things to micro, small, and medium enterprises. Okay, it is one thing. So in that the reason I can say that most of the large corporations, private corporations, are supporting them. Only thing is that they are not mandated like government that you need to have 25% minimum, you have to give it to women, you have to give it to STC. No, that's not like that. But they say that we will channelize our requirement through you only. Now the second part, like MSMEs, when they go for the loans, that is the negative thing about Atma Abhiyan, that they are basically fall into liabilities. And unfortunately, all the funding agencies to MSMEs are now under civil scanner. It means if I'm MSME, I got a loan, suppose from SIDBI, SIDBI, and I didn't pay on time. My civil is has gone. I mean, my civil is bad. So next time, none of the government banks or private banks will provide them loan. So where they will go? So one solution to this, which I suggest many times to many forum, that why not for the micro and small, instead of making them to rely on the government loan, we industry bodies can have some consortium of funds like venture capitalists. Because see, nowadays it is a good investment option for the businessman. I have some money. I don't want to start a business, but I want to invest in a business which is running good. Okay, and I can get good returns from them without equity sharing with that company. The consortium concept already started. I have seen this happening in Gujarat.
Of
This has
business.
already happened in Maharashtra, already happened in North, already has started happening in Guwahati now. So why we can't have the consortium where one thing is very sure, once you are investing money, so you are part of their board. Okay, means you can forcefully make them make them work, means the industries can be made to work. We can interfere in their day-to-day business. Why you are not doing this? Why this growth is falling? Why production is low? Why sales is down? Because we have invested my money, so I have full right to interfere in their board, interfere in their because they don't have any board, but still they have some people, no, like directors, managing directors, so we can interfere. So that way also we can help them to get the fund, get the business, educate them instead of just going to the banks, because banks also know if they are going to give the money, their money is basically a debt, bad debt. So again, bank will come into into the effect of NPAs. So banks are not most of the time banks are not supporting them. I know, and one of the reasons why banks are not supporting it is very honestly, I'm saying, MSMEs are not maintaining their accounts properly. Most of the time, MSCs are running their business on
True,
savings
because
bank,
that has got a cost.
savings bank. No, savings bank. I'm saying they're starting their account, a business
Okay,
with
okay.
savings account. They never open a current account also because
Mm.
there's no one to educate them. So if you don't have any current account, if you don't maintain your business account properly with the bank, so why bank will trust you? In
Mm.
one fine day, if you go to the bank and tell them, see, sir, I am doing so many business, so many worth of business, give me loan. Bank will say, show me the your last experiences. How many, what business you did, from where you got the loan, how much loan you get, whether you paid or not, because you don't have any proper current account with us, no bank relationship with us. You are doing your business on savings account. Okay, so that way and most of the MSCs are registered under sole proprietorship. So again, sole proprietorships are not going to have any support from the government in terms of funds. Okay, no banks will give fund because
Like, I'll just add, sir, because once they're doing in their individual name, in individual PAN,
Yes,
then
yes.
this is doing business without current account is possible.
Uh,
Otherwise, it's not possible because bank will not open an account in a business name.
yes, yes. No, that's what I'm saying. No, see, if I'm saying to this also, if I suppose have a small tailor, okay, tailor means street
Ah,
vendor.
right.
What's the wrong with them to open a current account with the name of some entity? Because see, they are already under composition. GST
Then for
composition scheme.
government, here I'll say that for the micro units, they
Hmm.
are getting some interest from the savings bank account. Then government needs to think savings bank current account for micro units should carry some interest.
It should
Because
carry
banks
some
are,
interest. Yeah, that is one
yeah,
point. It should carry some interest, but having current account, the banks are more comfortable in paying them as a loan. But in savings account, they cannot give an industrial loan.
yeah,
No? How can
yes.
they avail the industrial loan?
Okay, yeah, right, right. That's right.
So that is the way they are going to the private lenders and they are giving 24%, 30% interest. And ultimately, what is happening? They are into liabilities. They are totally into liabilities.
ହଁ ୟୁଟର୍ନ ହେଇପାରିବ ମାନେ ସେଠି ଭଙ୍ଗା ଚୋଡା ରାସ୍ତା ଅଛି
ଟିକେ yeah,
ମୁଁ
ଟିକେ
ହଁ
ଟିକେ sir phone ଟା mute करिए.
ଆଚ୍ଛା ବାହାରେ ରଖିଛନ୍ତି ଭିତରେ ରଖିନା
Sir ଟିକେ phone ଟା mute करिए kindly. Please,
So,
please carry on.
so these are the basics of startups also that if they are not maintaining the proper relationship with the banks, okay, then how come they can say that banks are not providing loans, banks are not entertaining them? Number one. Secondly, the biggest mistake we do that we focus more on hiring our teams, okay, hiring members. We are more focused on like other expenses, but we should always say that why we need loans. First question. They never ask this question. Ultimately, what is happening? They are into the liabilities. So if you are in liabilities, then where you have the time to focus on your product or your services for leveraging the market, for increasing the business? No. But if you have the venture capitalists into picture in loans, okay, then investment basically, then what happens? They get one more member from the industry to guide them. Okay. And that we need. We need to have the people who are from the industries, experienced people from the industries to guide them so that they can show the path. देखो भाई मेरा पैसा लगा हुआ है मेरा पैसा डूबना नहीं चाहिए. So for this what need to do? You have to do this, you have to do that. So there is no one to say you have to do this, you have to do that. So that's the reason they start due to someone's advice, but ultimately they don't know how to grow and they are collapsed. And most of the time it happens only because of this. And owners goes to the government that you are not supporting us with subsidies, you are not supporting us with loans, you are not supporting us with markets. So everything cannot be done by the government. Something need to be understood so that they can do it by yourself. They have to make it by yourself. And how to do this, they need some education. So the education part we need to provide them. We need to educate them the basic things, not about the schemes, because schemes they might also know from any other sources, but how to avail that, because they know there are lots of hurdles, lots of bottlenecks. People are not having trust in them. People don't entertain them. People will also say that, "Arey bhai, mere paas abhi time nahi hai, baad mein aana," because I have seen a lot of people like you. So this type of answers they get, which leads to demotivation. Say, "Arey, chhoro mat jao. If I go there, no results will come." They will ask 10,000 things and we don't have answers to those. So banks are also following these things because so that they can have minimum clients and minimum customers coming to them for the loans. पहले भगाओ बा उनको, इनको ज़्यादा entertain मत करो. So this type of things happen because also government says to bank that भाई तुम loan दे रहे हो, I am not responsible for that. So banks are not handled by the government also. So if my loan goes bad, then you face the music, something like. So we need to understand that, and very easy to understand is that we need to educate first. Education is big thing. Like why I said education institutions, they are from there itself. We have to provide them free educations on related to finance, related to business, related to marketing, related to organizational behavior. If universities can provide free of cost this education, it can be provided, no issue, to all the growing MSEs or upcoming MSEs or entrepreneurs. At least they can understand how to talk, with the banks, how to talk with the lenders, how to talk with the government officials. So this communication is not there. So they are all working islandic. They are working in island manner. And later on, they only say that I cannot do this business.
There is no
Because
synchronization.
No synchronization is very difficult to do business, simply. So that things we need to
So
make them
this
understand.
financial inclusion training, government is spending a lot through bankers, and also that
But
can be a
not,
little bit advanced.
not
to-
happening, sir, not happening. I know Reserve Bank of India is into this. Very honestly, Reserve Bank of India is doing a lot of things. I know. We have a lot of information from RBI. They ask us, please, inform these people and please try to make some seminars, webinars, workshops. We are there to give all the education, but it's not happening because they
Rather,
have
it
some
is not
constraints.
interesting for them to.
They are also
Unless they
constraints
have
are
an
there.
appetite for business,
Yes.
these are not interesting.
But we have to make them interesting for the
Yeah, that's
MSEs
it.
to come down to RBI or to
The
connect with
point,
their
the,
personal sales.
the point you made in the initial remark that these are all made mandatory in the curriculum, studies curriculum, then automatically, a student will
Yes.
first look for getting marks, and from that they can develop interest.
But in NEP is happening. NEP 30% part is vocational, no? Mandated as vocational. So their institutions are open to provide what type of course they want. And most of the time I have seen courses are more on financials. Finance is, the accounting method is very important. How to at least understand how to make PLN account, or you can say income statements, balance sheet. Minimum these things they should know. If they don't know also, they should know to read those statements, how to read those statements. Every time you cannot go to CA for reading those statements, and it incurs cost. So minimum things they should know how to read. So if they can read, they can know that whether their business is growing properly or not. So health can be diagnosed. And that way they can also educate their workers, their people. That see, if you are doing that way, then we are not going to survive. So for this, many like organizational behavior also required. They should know how the communication should happen from within the organization of MSME. What are the challenges in communicating to workers and workers to the management? So this is also not known. So they are mostly they fall into a trap of labor compliances, strikes, hartal, and all these things. Inconsistencies mostly seen in state of Orissa, Bihar, Assam. Workers are not consistent. They are coming today, they won't be coming tomorrow. So how to take care of this if you are a labor intensive industry? So these are the basics which I think we need to make them educate.
Right. Anyone else has got any question, please?
Sir, actually, sir was talking about the consortium.
Yeah.
So what would be the legal entity for that consortium? Whether it will be a separate legal entity for the industries, or in what way it will work actually?
It can be a
Mostly,
company. It can
it's
be a
company.
company model.
It's can be company, or mostly the most preferable is Section 8 companies.
Section 8 company.
Yeah, not as a trust, but Section 8 because it is more compliant company to the government. So Section 8 companies, members can be the people. Yeah, it's a consortium of people who are interested in investing money in startups, in micro, small enterprises. So,
But sir, even otherwise, Section 8 companies will be promoted by NPOs, non-profit organizations like industrial bodies. But even the present statute allows this as a profitable business model also. You can make an investment company, and all these NBFCs what they're doing.
Yes. Section 8 companies.
You might have heard about off business. The one Oriya guy Mahapatra who has done it. That's a unicorn. He's precisely doing this business that wherever working capital requirement is there, he is giving loan in safe of materials. So he's getting profit on two counts. One
Hmm.
is commission on purchases, profit on purchases, and then the second is interest. And
And
he has
second,
got a
Yeah.
buyback of the product also as a security of his loan. So he's doing exceedingly well.
Yes, good idea.
now here also I've seen the Section 8 companies, they are actually supporting NGO because Section 8 companies are very good as a channel of a CSR fund from the PSUs or large corporates. Large
True.
corporates are very much happy to give their CSR funds to Section 8 companies because they are compliant.
But
So once they give that,
CSR fund as such, it will not end up in investment. It has to be expensed out.
Utilized.
no, it is expensed out. It is expensed out in the name of some NGOs under the umbrella of
Donation.
Section 8.
Acha, okay, you mean to say
Yes.
they will donate, not
To say to
invest in equity.
investing, but they can provide it to some NGOs or some like communities at large, and by that way also they can benefit those people in as a fund or money in supporting some small help groups,
They can
SGOs
give
or something.
subsidy. Subsidy will be an expenses. They can give
Ah,
it investment subsidy or something.
yes. So many people are doing like FPO, FPC under Section 8 companies nowadays.
FPO, right.
Mm.
FPCs, these farmer producing companies,
Ah,
10,000 companies are being promoted. But I had my initial doubt on this, and the same thing is happening. There's a lot of interpersonal conflict in villages. If
no,
you are
that is the
making a congregation of
yes.
1,500 villages, it is
Mm.
always
So one more
nice.
thing, sir. One biggest problem now is earlier it was FPO, okay, but once it FPC, it is a completely compliant company. They need to have a
Compliant.
CEO and
Yeah,
all these
exactly.
things. Now they have to be compliant, otherwise lots of penalties will be there.
Right.
So things are is not
In
good
fact,
for FPC.
many companies, they will end up in giving. They are in the verge of getting struck off
Yes, because of these non-compliances.
non-compliances.
Mm.
So they're all farmers. Few of them are educated, but even
Very less
most of them.
educated, and they are corporates, and corporates people are not understanding what is the what's going on the ground.
There
So there
is
are
a
lots
CBBO,
of conflicts.
there is a CBBO who gives training, and the CBBOs are also not very effective because they are not properly incentivized, and the
Mm.
money comes very late. Reimbursement comes. So
Yeah.
they have stopped the training, and now it is all in a doldrum.
I will share this PPT to Om Prakash ji, okay,
Yes,
and
sir.
then he can share it to all our members.
Yes.
And based on that, let me just give you that draft report, okay, my draft proposal, okay, by 10th or 15th of Feb next month, and then we can have one more discussions like which are the weak points we need to take for the state of Orissa, and how to make it happen with the help of the government, so that they are supported. They get
So,
supported.
or
MSME
at
gets
least at state government level, because we have got many large industries, about particularly in steel sector
Hmm.
and power sector. We have got about 30 of them, large
Yeah.
industries, huge industries. And none of them are really procuring locally, neither they have developed a vendor. They don't bother because the procurement hardly affects their, local procurement
No.
for them. So
Hmm.
unless either from the state government or central government, it is made mandatory to them, so they are just not bothered.
Hmm.
So
Yes,
probably
it's very true.
in your study, you kindly include this as a
Yes.
suggestion also to the
No,
state
this
government.
very true. This problem I'm also seeing in many other states. They are mandated 25%. That's all. Whether this 25% from within the state, outside the state is not clear.
That is not there,
Not clear.
and local
They end
industries are
up in anywhere.
exactly
They end up in everywhere, and that's the biggest problem.
right.
Sure.
I think thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you very much.
Mirji.
We'll again meet and we'll
Sure.
discuss.
In the
Yes, sir.
meanwhile, kindly prepare the study report and then we'll
Sure.
see.
I will share with you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Thank you.
Mr. Fukan, can I have your number, please? Telephone number.